Tuna's life had finally begun to smile at her after so many storms. Her heart, once scarred by pain, had now found a safe haven when she accepted Alex's confession of love. It wasn't just a new beginning, it was the doorway to a journey filled with warmth, love, and happiness. Yet just as everything seemed within her grasp, trouble suddenly emerged. Her former mother-in-law, a woman infamous for her cruelty and cunning, happened to discover the truth. Tu Nha had given birth to a child. That innocent little boy suddenly became the center of her schemes. In the woman's eyes flashed both suspicion and ambition. Could this child really be part of my bloodline? From that moment, the story took a tense turn. Would she try to claim the boy shattering the peace that Tu Nha had finally built for herself? Would she stop at nothing to drag Tu Nha back into misery? And above all, could Alex, the man who vowed to protect and cherish her, truly be strong enough to defend both mother and son against the venomous intentions of this woman, Tu Nha? And Alex's love now stood at a crossroads. Would it endure and grow stronger through the coming storm? Or would shadows from the past once again steal away the happiness they had only just found? And what about you? What do you think? Is this the beginning of another painful struggle? Or will it become the turning point that makes their love unshakable? Stay with me as we continue uncovering this dramatic and emotional journey together. That day, Tu Nha carried on with her usual routine, working diligently before hurrying home. All she wanted was to return to her little boy's side, never imagining that from a distance, a pair of eyes was fixed intently on her every move. Along the village road, a car suddenly came to a halt. Behind the wheel sat none other than Tu Nha's former mother-in-law. For a moment, the woman froze, her gaze locked on the familiar figure ahead. Her lips moved, murmuring words filled with suspicion. Wait, isn't that Tu Nha she once said she was pregnant? But now, her body looked slim again, her belly flat. Could it be she's already had the baby? The thought struck her sharply, and almost immediately, a calculating glint flickered in her eyes. The stern lines on her face twisted into a half-smile of cunning. Without a second's hesitation, she turned the car around and began to trail Tu Nha, determined to uncover the truth. Unaware of the shadow following her, Tu Nha walked on her mind, occupied with daily concerns, never suspecting that danger was slowly creeping closer. The faint hum of the engine behind her blended with the evening breeze, leaving her completely oblivious. Meanwhile, the woman's thoughts churned in a storm of questions. If she really had the child, then whose baby is it? Could it be my own grandson? If so, I must find a way to bring him back to our family. The wheels rolled steadily along the narrow path, carrying with them the schemes of someone who was never known for letting things go easily. And from that very moment, the fragile peace Tu Nha had been building was quietly drawn into a new whirlpool of uncertainty. Where would this story lead? Could the secrets Tu Nha had guarded so carefully remain hidden any longer? Or would everything soon be dragged into the open as her past and present collided in a storm she could no longer avoid? She followed Tu Nha along the narrow, uneven road that wound its way back to the village. When Tu Nha stopped at Madame Tang's house, the woman slowed, her car eyes narrowing with suspicion as she watched closely. So this must be her home, she muttered under her breath, a sly smirk tugging at her lips. But only a few moments later, Tu Nha reappeared this time, holding a small baby in her arms. The boy's innocent face, so delicate and pure, caught the woman completely off guard. Her heart pounded violently in her chest, and a single thought flashed through her mind. So it's true. She's had the baby. There's no doubt now. Her suspicion hardened into certainty, and with it came a surge of ambition. Restarting the engine, she trailed after Tu Nha, once more her eyes cold and calculating. Eventually, Tu Nha led the child back to a quiet farmhouse. Watching from a distance, the woman clenched her jaw and whispered to herself, "Ah, so this is where she really lives. I must go and demand the truth. That boy, is he my grandson, the child of my son, Huang An?" Her steps quickened as she prepared to approach the house. But then, something unexpected. From the far end of the path, a man appeared, walking toward the farmhouse with steady strides. The woman froze instantly. Heart racing, she ducked behind a thick clump of bushes, crouching low as her sharp eyes tracked every movement. When she finally caught a clear glimpse of his face, her stomach dropped. Wait, that young man. Isn't he the one who once came to me asking questions about Tu Nha? What is he doing here? Could it be he's involved with her? Jealousy and suspicion swirled inside her like a storm. Her mind worked quickly, weaving new schemes. If he is truly close to Tu Nha, then is that child really mine? Could the boy even belong to someone else? No, I must be patient. I must watch carefully. The truth will reveal itself soon enough. Her resolve hardened. She abandoned her plan to confront Tu Nha directly and instead remained hidden, crouched beneath the branches like a predator stalking its prey. Every breath was controlled, every movement calculated. From her cover, she kept her gaze fixed on the farmhouse, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Meanwhile, Tu Nha remained blissfully unaware of the shadow lurking just beyond the garden. To her, it was just another ordinary afternoon, returning to the farm, carrying little Henry in her arms and surprised by Alex's sudden arrival. She smiled, relieved, to see him unaware that his presence only added fuel to the storm already brewing in the mind of the watching woman. In that stillness, the course of destiny quietly shifted. The happiness Tu Nha had begun to build was now under threat. As old secrets and dangerous suspicions crept closer, ready to shatter everything, she stood there for quite a while, eyes fixed on the farmhouse in the distance. The gap between them made it impossible to catch a single word exchanged between Tu Nha and Alex. Yet the image alone was enough, the two standing close together, occasionally sharing a smile. To her, it looked unmistakably like intimacy, far too close for comfort. Where are they planning to go? Look at them, acting as if they were lovers. She muttered under her breath, her face tightening with irritation. With that man present, I can't step in to confront her now. But at least I've learned one thing for certain: this is her home. The next time she's alone, I'll come back. I'll demand to know if that child is truly the blood of my family. And if he is, there's no way I'll let it go. The thought of the little boy burned vividly in her mind. The innocent eyes, the tender smile. The more she replayed the image, the stronger her conviction became. If he is truly my grandson, then he belongs with us. No one, not Tu, not that young man, will keep him from me. Her breathing grew uneven as she felt a sharp determination rising within her. With a sudden movement, she turned and hurried back to her car. The engine roared to life, breaking the stillness of the countryside, and slowly the vehicle rolled away from the narrow dirt road. As she drove, her mind churned with plans. They were vague at first, shadowy ideas born of suspicion, but with every mile the outlines sharpened into something more concrete. The first step is to tell Huang An. He has the right to know. He's the father. He cannot be kept in the dark any longer. Once he knows, he'll stand with me. Together, we'll make sure the child is taken back. He must carry our name. He must belong to our bloodline. Her hands tightened around the steering wheel, knuckles pale from the pressure. In her eyes glimmered something hard, something dangerous, no longer doubt but certainty and ambition. Back at the farmhouse, Tu Nha and Alex remained blissfully unaware of the storm that had just begun to gather. They carried on with their afternoon as if nothing in the world could disturb their fragile peace. But the shadows had already shifted. What began as suspicion had now become resolve, and a plan was slowly taking form in the mind of a woman who had no intention of letting go. The happiness Tu Nha had only just begun to grasp was already under threat, its fragile walls about to be tested by the intrusion of the past. And somewhere, in the quiet distance, fate moved silently, setting the stage for the confrontation that was yet to come. Would Alex be able to protect Tu Nha and her child in time? I believe he would, because Alex is not only the man who offered Tu Nha a love pure and sincere, he is also someone with the determination and strength to stand his ground. Now that Tu Nha has accepted his confession, Alex has every reason to be by her side, openly shielding her and her little boy from whatever storm might come their way. Their story feels like a journey filled with both light and danger, happiness only just beginning to bloom, yet already threatened by the weight of the past. But sometimes, adversity is the very test that love must face, proving whether it is strong enough, deep enough to overcome anything. And what about you? Do you agree with me that Tu Nha is truly fortunate to have Alex in her life, that his love will become the shield strong enough to guard her against the malicious schemes that wait just beyond the horizon?
Được bán hết sạch, tôi cảm thấy lòng mình nhẹ nhõm. Thay vì vội vàng quay về nhà như thường lệ, tôi quyết định tự thưởng cho bản thân một thứ gì đó. Bước chân tôi dừng lại một quầy quần áo, nơi những chiếc áo mới đủ sắc màu treo lấp lánh dưới ánh sáng ánh nắng buổi trưa. Tôi chợt nghĩ đã lâu rồi mình chưa mua cho bản thân một món đồ nào. Có lẽ bây giờ nên thay đổi, để khi đi làm nhìn tươi tắn, tự tin hơn. Thế là tự Na bắt đầu ngắm nghía vuốt ve từng mớ thớ vải, tưởng tượng mình trong sáng vẻ tươi mới hơn. Rời quầy quần áo người lớn, tự Na bắt đầu bước vào khu quần áo trẻ em. Nhìn những bộ đồ nhỏ xinh được treo ngay ngắn, trong lòng tôi đã dâng lên những niềm yêu thương. Nhớ Henry, con trai bé bỏng của tôi bắt đầu lựa chọn từng chiếc áo từng chiếc quần vừa lượn vừa hình dung gương mặt rạng rỡ khi con được mặc những bộ quần áo mới đó. Có lẽ niềm vui của